A soldier was undergoing field training when he suddenly heard a noise coming from the nearby jungle. In a panic, he tried to pull up his pants, but a black hand grabbed him and pulled him down, causing him to fall right into his own feces. When the soldier turned around, he was shocked to see a zombie in front of him. It was too late to run. The next day, his teammates found him and carried him to the medical room. The military doctor checked his condition and, finding a heartbeat, instructed an assistant to perform CPR. As soon as the man leaned in, the soldier suddenly mutated and bit off the assistant's lips. Everyone in the room was stunned by the scene. The soldier abruptly stood up and started attacking them. A soldier who had been sitting in a wheelchair was so terrified that he miraculously regained his ability to walk. Meanwhile, those who had been bitten also began to mutate, plunging the scene into chaos. Within minutes, most of the soldiers had been infected. Kayu and his teammate, having never seen such a situation before, stood frozen in shock. A zombie suddenly appeared beside them, sniffed Kayu, then turned its head and lunged at someone else. As Kayu breathed a sigh of relief, he was suddenly knocked to the ground, watching the zombies attack others. He quietly crawled away. On the other side, the team captain was desperately protecting the female soldier, Xiaoling. He pushed away an oncoming zombie and quickly hid Xiaoling inside a cabinet. But as soon as he turned around, a zombie lunged at him. While the captain was fighting for his life, Kayu crawled out from under a table. However, instead of helping the captain, he quickly slipped into another room. Fortunately, the captain managed to break free from the zombie's grasp and chased after Kayu, shutting the door and pulling the curtains closed behind him. They checked themselves for injuries and were relieved to find they had not been bitten. The captain then remembered Xiaoling, who was still hiding in the cabinet, and was trying to figure out how to rescue her when a zombie suddenly appeared behind them. They froze in fear. Luckily, they were prepared when the zombie attacked. They dodged and worked together to tie the zombie to a chair. To prevent the zombie from being further agitated, they even placed a trash can over its head. The captain tried to call for rescue, but the signal had been completely cut off. Seeing the swarm of zombies outside, Kayu suddenly came up with a plan. He shone a flashlight outside and noticed that the zombies were extremely sensitive to the light. So, they stuffed the flashlight into the zombie's mouth. As the other zombies were drawn to the light, they took the opportunity to quietly crawl out of the room. They then opened the cabinet and rescued Xiaoling. However, as they stepped out of the medical room, they realized the situation outside was even worse. Bloodthirsty zombies were everywhere, and it was clear that the entire military base had fallen. Kayu spotted an ambulance. They planned to escape in it, but the keys were missing. With zombies swarming the training grounds, they had no choice but to hide inside the vehicle. Just as they were unsure of what to do next, a surviving soldier outside banged on the car window, begging for help. But before the three could react, the soldier was caught and bitten by the pursuing zombies. Xiaoling argued that staying in the car wasn't a long-term solution. She suggested heading to the cafeteria, where supplies were abundant. However, on their way there, they encountered two zombie patrol soldiers who, due to their muscle memory, were still patrolling as if they were alive. Kayu, nervous, accidentally made a noise.
Oh shit!
The man threw the iron cage key near the zombie horde. On one side, zombies were about to break down the door. On the other, his comrades needed the key to escape. Kayu had to make a choice. Earlier, while the three were heading to the cafeteria, Kayu, due to nerves, accidentally made a noise, attracting zombies. One zombie approached, but didn't look down. Seizing the moment, Kayu quickly tripped it and grabbed the weapon from its hands. The captain rushed forward to restrain the zombie, but as a rookie, Kayu had no idea how to fire a gun. At the critical moment, the captain snatched the rifle and swiftly shot the zombie dead. But the gunfire attracted even more zombies, forcing them to flee. As they passed the training ground, they noticed the zombies weren't following them. Instead, they were imitating training drills, as if responding to their past muscle memory. The captain decided to use this to their advantage. They lured the zombies toward obstacles. Since zombies had no intelligence, acted purely on instinct, and had poor balance, they used this weakness to successfully shake off the zombie horde. When the three finally reached the cafeteria entrance, they found many other survivors gathered there. However, a sergeant noticed that Xiaoling had a wound from a metal scrape. The survivors, aware of the consequences of a zombie bite, refused to believe it wasn't a bite mark. Despite the trio's explanations, they locked them inside an iron cage. Kayu knew people on both sides, so to rescue Xiaoling and the captain, he pretended to comply with the sergeant and his men. However, things got worse when Xiaoling was locked up with a soldier who had already been bitten. Kayu knew they couldn't wait any longer. While two sergeants distracted the zombies, Xiaoling took the opportunity to subdue one of them with a knife, but the other sergeant didn't lower his gun. Instead, he opened the rolling door and threw the key near the entrance. Then, abandoning everyone, the sergeant fled. Faced with a tough decision as zombies closed in, Kayu quickly made his choice. He rushed forward, grabbed the key, and unlocked the cage just in time, escaping inside before the zombies could reach them. Trapped inside the cage, Kayu noticed something unusual. Zombies weren't attacking Xiaoling. Just as the zombies were about to break through the iron doors, music suddenly played over the loudspeakers. The moment the zombies heard the song, they calmed down. It seemed the music had triggered their past memories, causing them to freeze in place. Taking advantage of this, the group escaped. Outside, they found the sergeant who had abandoned them earlier. He had tried to flee in a car but crashed. His body was missing. As the captain reached for a gun, the music suddenly stopped and the zombies became agitated again. One of them lunged at Kayu, but at the last second, Xiaoling's mother rushed in to shield him, getting bitten in the process. After dealing with the zombie, the group quickly took refuge in a nearby warehouse and barricaded the door. Xiaoling comforted her mother, insisting she would be fine. But everyone knew the truth. Anyone bitten would turn. Before she died, Xiaoling's mother begged the captain and Kayu to take care of her daughter and ensure her safety. She soon passed away, only to reawaken as a zombie. Despite their heartbreak, they knew she was no longer human. As she lunged at Xiaoling, Kayu pulled the trigger. Xiaoling still didn't understand why the zombies weren't attacking her. Kayu finally made the connection. They had both used the same mosquito repellent before the outbreak. They searched the warehouse and found an empty bottle of the repellent. The captain then suggested using Xiaoling's sweat as a substitute, but when they turned around, Xiaoling was gone. Looking out the window, they saw her walking away. The captain and Kayu quickly armed themselves with equipment from the warehouse. After setting up the music, Xiaoling successfully lured the zombies away. Just as they thought they could escape, the surviving sergeant found Xiaoling in the broadcast room. During their struggle, the music was accidentally turned off, causing the zombies to move again. Kayu and the captain were trapped in the middle of the horde. They climbed a flagpole to the second floor, only to find a bloodstain where Xiaoling had been. A radio message suddenly came through. It was a rescue helicopter instructing all survivors to gather at the plaza. Realizing the sergeant had likely taken Xiaoling, they pursued him, with the zombie horde close behind. They locked the iron gate just in time and found the sergeant with Xiaoling. Obsessed with understanding why zombies weren't attacking her, the sergeant pressed Xiaoling against the gate full of zombies. Instead of biting her, the zombies bit him instead. The captain tried to rush in to save Xiaoling, but the sergeant shot him. Seeing the captain fall, Kayu was overcome with rage. He charged at the wounded sergeant and beat him mercilessly. Although the captain wasn't fatally shot, the desperate sergeant wanted to take them all down with him. Xiaoling reacted quickly, using her body to block the iron door. During their struggle, a bottle of mosquito repellent fell from the sergeant's pocket. As the zombies closed in, Kayu abandoned the fight, grabbed the repellent, and rubbed it on himself and the captain. Once they were safe, Xiaoling released the zombies. Horrified, the three huddled together as the zombies ignored them and swarmed the sergeant instead. They had survived. In the end, they boarded the rescue helicopter and left the nightmare behind.